On Global Television News Express, Academic Staff Union of Universities to hold strategic NEC meeting as action enters week 2. In business, customs launch digital system to tackle vehicle smuggling. On the foreign scene, Ecuador releases survivor of US strike on suspected drug submarine. And in sports, Nigeria Football Federation confirms cancellation of Eagles United States friendlies. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ubong Usoro. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. The national leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASU, will meet today to evaluate its position on the ongoing strike by its members. The development follows the union's disclosure that government's renegotiation team led by Yahya Ahmed came to the negotiation table with a documented response to the union demands and made some offers to it. According to the strike bulletin, the union acknowledged the progress being made and recorded in certain areas such as the release of the third-party deductions, areas of promotion, mainstreaming of earned academic allowance, confiscation of University of Abuja land, and victimization of its members in Kaduna State University, Lagos State University, and the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. Also, in a landmark development, the National Universities Commission has officially issued a license to the University of Innovation, Science and Technology, Omuma, making it the 4th university in Imo State, the 70th state university, and the 301st in Nigeria's university system. Education correspondent Priscilla Obasi has the rest of the report.
At the National Universities Commission headquarters in Abuja, the NUC officially granted a full operational license to the University of Innovation, Science and Technology, Omuma, marking a major milestone for tertiary education in Imo State. The Executive Secretary to the Commission, Professor Abdullahi Ribadu, presented the license to the Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, describing the approval as a bold step towards expanding access to quality higher education, empowering young people, and promoting knowledge-driven development across the state.
To celebrate this achievement, I call on all stakeholders, including government officials, university administrators, staff, and students, to work together to ensure that the institution flourishes and upholds the highest standards of academic integrity. We should also uphold good research excellence, and good governance.
In his remarks, Governor Hope Uzodinma said the establishment of the new university represents a landmark moment for Imo State's education sector. He explained that the institution, in collaboration with Imo Digital City, will partner with Bentley University in California to develop a robust digital curriculum that fosters innovation, startups, and youth entrepreneurship.
Admission into a commendable and reputable university or tertiary institution has also won this race. The University of Innovation, Science and Technology, Omuma, in partnership with Imo Digital City, will have already a mentoring agreement with the University of Berkeley in California.
The highlight of the event was the formal presentation of the university's strategic document by the NUC Executive Secretary to the Governor. Priscilla Obasi, Global Television News.
Experts say maintaining good personal hygiene is essential not only for preventing diseases but also for boosting self-esteem and overall quality of health. Health correspondent Zara Nazir takes a look at why good hygiene matters and files in this report.
Medical experts say personal hygiene protects individuals and the community from germs, boosts self-esteem, and helps create a positive impression on others. According to health experts, regular hygiene practices such as washing hands, bathing, and brushing teeth help prevent infections, reduce the spread of germs, and promote mental well-being. In Abuja, some residents told Global TV how they maintain their hygiene routines and why they consider cleanliness vital to their health and daily comfort.
Number one, my teeth. I'm supposed to brush at least 3 times a day. My body, I'm supposed to bathe 3 times a day. Then I'm supposed to wash my clothes, keep myself clean.
You can take care of your personal hygiene by taking good care of yourself and also taking care of what you eat, the water you drink, and most of all your personal appearance, the way you appear, the way you sit out before people.
I keep it clean as much as I can. For example, I have my bath in the morning before I go to work, do the activities of the day. When I come back in the evening, I must have a bath before I sleep. And equally have a brush. I brush my teeth in the morning and brush my teeth in the night before I sleep.
Poor hygiene and sanitation have been linked to numerous diseases, including skin infections, cholera, and tooth decay, reinforcing the need for regular and poor hygiene habits.
Before eating, I used to wash my hands, and after eating, I used to wash my hand also. In the morning when I wake up, I make sure I take care of my teeth. Then after, in the morning and the evening also, before going to bed, I also take care of it.
It's very important to keep it because it will even help your health to live long. Like somebody like me, I don't used to sick.
Staying clean is not just a personal responsibility, but a collective effort toward building a healthier society. Zahra Nasr, reporting for Global TV News.
Intensify for its National Elective Convention. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has assured that adequate accommodation will be provided for delegates, party leaders, and special guests. This assurance came as the party's accommodation subcommittee met in Abuja to fine-tune logistics ahead of the convention scheduled for November the 14th and 15th in Ibadan, Oyo State. Our correspondent brings the report. With less than a month to the PDP National Convention, members of the Accommodation Subcommittee met to review hotel arrangements, delegate accommodation allocation, transport links from hotel to convention venue, and welfare support for attendees. The chairman of the committee and governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, said accommodation planning is a critical component of a successful convention and must reflect the unity and organization of the PDP.
So I don't want anybody to lose hope. I want everybody to keep hope alive. Contribute your quota. But if you know you don't belong here, nobody's forcing you to stay in PDP. But for you to say you want to stay in PDP and destroy it, it will not work. Yes. Because God is on the throne.
Also speaking, former Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Kabiru Tanimu Turaki, said accommodation logistics will be handled professionally to avoid confusion during the national event.
Let me say that each and every one of you were carefully selected into this committee. If you look at yourselves and the people around you, you will see that this committee is different from other committees.
With accommodation arrangements now at advanced stage, the committee says it is confident that delegates attending the PDP National Convention in Ibadan will have a seamless experience. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News. The Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, Ondo State Chapter, has suspended its proposed industrial action following the intervention of Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa. The association in the state had reportedly issued a 7-day ultimatum, which elapsed on Monday, over the implementation of salary scale for its members. Speaking to newsmen in Akure, state chapter person of the association, Eileen Oluwufemi, commended the governor for approving the request of members on the implementation of the consolidated legislative salary structure. A former lawmaker and leader of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State, Shegu Saiki, has criticized former governor and current Senator Adams Oshomole for distributing grinding machines, motorbikes, sewing machines, and 100,000 naira cash as constituency project. Oshemele, who represents Edo North Senatorial District, had shared the items on Saturday in his hometown, Iyamo. Saiki faulted the initiative, describing it as hypocritical, given Oshomole past criticism of lawmakers who carried out similar empowerment programs, likening the former Labour leader's action to eating his own words. Ogun State government has issued a fresh flood alert, its third this year, warning residents of riverbank and wetland communities to brace for possible flooding between October the 20th and November the 3rd. In a statement, the Commissioner for Environment, Ola Oresiya, said the likely overflow of Ogun River would result from controlled release of water from the Yan Dam following heavy rainfall in the northern part of the country that had raised the water levels at the dam. Oresiya explained that the situation could be worsened by the rising tidal levels, urging residents in vulnerable areas to relocate or take precautionary measures. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, has officially opened a student loan application portal for the 2025-2026 academic session. This is contained in a statement issued by NELFund Director of Strategic Communication, Oseyemi Oluwatoyi. The loan is expected to provide financial support for students across tertiary institutions in Nigeria. You are watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, Ecuador releases survivor of U.S. strike on suspected drug submarine. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us. Down to business. The Nigerian Customs Service has launched its digital reform agenda with a new online platform aimed at ending vehicle smuggling and improving transparency in import verification. The Controller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, said the launch marks a major leap in the service's digital transformation aimed at tracking vehicle smuggling and promoting transparency in trade operations. Business correspondent Kike Lomo Okere completes the report.
For years, the vehicle verification process relied on outdated and fragmented methods that encouraged misinformation, fraud, and revenue leakages. Comptroller General of Customs Bashir Adewale Adeniyi described the innovation as a game changer that will redefine how vehicle verification is conducted across the customs ecosystem. It reveals that the new digital system introduces a faster and more secure process for verifying the duty payment status of imported vehicles.
There is no phase to it. It's been launched. It is web-based. Anybody can access it from anywhere in the world. And the card that you are going to use for it is any card issued by any financial institution in Nigeria or indeed anywhere in the world.
Adeniyi says the platform will also empower the public to make informed vehicle purchase decisions and curb the circulation of smuggled or improperly cleared vehicles. He added that the initiative is another demonstration of the service commitment to modernization, transparency, and building public trust.
And that's why we have officially unveiled it. And the members of the Motor Dealers Association, who we consider very strategic stakeholders in this business, have not disappointed us by telling us that their members will embrace it so that they are sure that vehicles that they will be putting out for to Nigerians are properly documented and are cleared by the Nigerian Customs Service.
With the launch of the Customs Verification Management System, the service says it is reaffirming its commitment to a smarter, faster, and more transparent approach to vehicle clearance and trade facilitation. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
The federal government has launched a comprehensive revenue recovery exercise aimed at boosting inflows into the Federation account. As part of the initiative, more than 50 consultants have been inaugurated to identify and recover unremitted revenues across key sectors of the economy. The exercise, which is jointly being coordinated by the Revenue, Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission and the Federal Inland Revenue Service, is expected to be completed within 6 months. Kano, Katsina, Jigawa states have agreed to partner on the tri-state electricity market and acquire equity stake in Future Energies Africa, the core investor in Kano Electricity Distribution Company. The governors of Kano, Katsina, Jigawa State, Abba Kabi Yusuf, Diko Rada, and Umar Namadi met with the Future Energies Africa in Morocco for a high-level electrification summit/meeting. The three states are partnering with the Future Energies Africa on the first-of-its-kind electrification fund with a target capitalization of 50 billion naira in the first instance to rapidly accelerate access and supply across the three states through embedded generation using renewables, solar home systems, grid extensions, and mini-grids. Now to the foreign scene. More than 100 people gathered outside Nicolas Sarkozy's home on Tuesday morning to show their support as the French former president prepared to leave for La Santé prison in Paris. Sarkozy, France's right-wing leader from 2007 to 2012, was found guilty last month of seeking to acquire funding from Muammar Gaddafi's Libya for campaign that saw him elected. Uyi Abomagwegbe brings the rest of the story.
The Frenchman has become the first former head of a European Union state to be jailed, proclaiming his innocence as he entered a Paris prison.
Ça c'était à Villepinte lorsque Sarkozy nous avait dit il nous reste que 3 jours pour pouvoir.
The 70-year-old who has appealed the verdict was seen leaving his home after a short drive, flanked by police on motorbikes, entered the La Santé prison in the French capital. Sarkozy was handed a 5-year jail term in September for criminal conspiracy over a plan for late Libyan dictator Gaddafi to fund his electoral campaign. Sarkozy's lawyer, Christophe Ingrain, said a request had been immediately filed for the former French leader's release. Uyi Agbomofwegbe reporting for Global TV News.
United States President Donald Trump has reaffirmed that the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas remains in effect despite fresh Israeli airstrike in Gaza that left dozens dead. Trump made the comment while speaking with reporters aboard Air Force One, insisting that the truce he helped broker is intact. Mukhtar Qasim reports.
President Trump said reports of renewed violence did not signal the collapse of the ceasefire, suggesting instead that the attacks may have been carried out by rogue elements. He assured that any violations would be dealt with properly and thoroughly, while expressing optimism that calm would return. Trump said his administration continues to monitor the situation closely and remains committed to ensuring what he described as a peaceful and sustainable truce between Israel and Hamas.
Well, we're going to have to see what's happening. We want to make sure that it's going to be very peaceful with Hamas. And as you know, they've been quite rambunctious. They've been doing some shooting, and we think maybe the leadership isn't involved in that. You know, some rebels within. But either way, it's going to be handled properly. It's going to be handled toughly, but properly.
Is the ceasefire still in place?
Yeah, it is.
The White House says Vice President J.D. Vance and other senior officials are expected to visit Israel in the coming days to assess development and strengthen efforts towards lasting peace in the region. Mukhtar Qasim, reporting for Global Television News.
Has released the man who survived a U.S. strike on a suspected drug trafficking submarine. The Attorney General's office said after finding no evidence that he had committed a crime. The United States has deployed warship to the Caribbean off the coast of Venezuela since August, targeting mostly boats that the U.S. authorities said were running drugs. These raids have now killed at least 32 people and drawn angry reactions from some South American leaders. Now to sports. Port Harcourt has been confirmed as the host city for the finals of the 2025 Nigeria Men's Premier Basketball League. In a statement signed by Nigerian Basketball Federation Vice President and Chairman of the Premier Basketball League, Babs Ogunade, and released by the Federation Secretary, Amina Amanchi, the decision followed the successful completion of the Atlantic and Savannah's conferences. The Federation said the bids were invited from participating clubs to host the final 8 and final 4 stages of the competition. Still in sports, the Nigerian Football Federation has confirmed the cancellation of the Super Eagles' planned friendly matches against Venezuela and Colombia in the United States, following the team's qualification for the 2026 World Cup playoffs. Speaking with newsmen, Federation Director of Communications, Dr. Ademola Olajire, said the decision was inevitable after the Super Eagles secured a playoff spot. Super Falcons have commenced full training in Lome ahead of their 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations final qualifying first leg clash against Benin Republic. Calm updates from the team's media officer on Monday evening confirmed that the session was concluded successfully, with defender Tosi Dahemi being the latest arrival to join the squad. 9 players are now expected in camp, including 6-time African Footballer of the Year Asisat Oshuala, new invitee Joy Omewa, China base forward Folashade Ijamirusu, and home base quartet of goalkeeper Adeline Mekchi, defender Blessing Ilelva, Miracle Osani, midfielder Taiwo Afolabi, and forward Kafayat Mafisere. That's it on Global Television News Express. Before we go, a recap of our top stories. On Global TV News Express, the national leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASU, will meet today to evaluate its position on the ongoing strike by its members. In business, the Nigerian Customs Service has launched its digital reform agenda with a new online platform aimed at ending vehicle smuggling and improving transparency in import verification. On the foreign scene, we told you that Ecuador has released a man who survived a U.S. strike on a suspected drug trafficking submarine, the Attorney General Office said on Monday, after finding no evidence that he had committed a crime. And in sports, the Nigerian Football Federation has confirmed the cancellation of the Super Eagles' planned friendly matches against Venezuela and Colombia in the United States following the team's qualification for the 2026 World Cup's playoff. That's it on Global TV News Express. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms, now showing on the screen using @Global TV NG. My name is Ubong Usoro. Bye for now.